It's November the 13th. It's about -5 degrees, which is 23 Fahrenheit. And I decided to come out here sort of where I left off when I walked out along the creek on Monday. And I'm going further along what's called the Devonian pathway here, which will take us by the Royal Regina Golf Club, and then I'll probably walk back along Dudney past Government House and all that. So that's the plan. First thing though is to climb this snow-covered hill. Here we go. We're on the pathway. People down there with their dogs. That's the off-leash dog park on the other side of that fence. Some of them are on this side of the fence, but that's okay. And I just parked over here at the Italian Club, which is sort of where I ended on my last walk along here. Hopefully not too slippery today. I'm still a little sore from the tumble I took 2 days ago. I'm noticing as I walk. I'll work that out. Lots of folks with dogs over here. You can see the creek is looking pretty frozen over there right now. It's supposed to go, I think, slightly above freezing tomorrow. Well above freezing on Monday, although it's now 5 instead of 8 like they were showing for a while. But then they're showing 10 centimeters of fresh snow come Tuesday. And there's more snow in the forecast after that, and the temperature drops below freezing and stays there. So my guess is that this is the start of the long, white winter months here in Regina. It's a curling club over there. Yeah, the creek looks frozen right over. I wouldn't walk on it, but it's really got ice on it. That's a fairly brisk wind blowing in my face, but at this temperature, it's more of a discomfort than a frostbite risk. Dogs are enjoying the snow. You can take a shortcut here, but we'll take the long way. That's 13th Avenue over there, the same one that I walk along all the time down by the cathedral. It carries on out here and eventually just goes out into the country. A scarf. I must start wearing a scarf because my neck's cold. And because of the microphone, I can't really do anything about that. I have to figure this out for colder weather. I'll be out of the wind once I get around the corner up here a little ways further. Could have parked here, I guess, where the dog park is. Over here. See, the Kathy Lauritsen Memorial Off-Leash Dog Park. Someone who loved dogs, presumably. All right, this doesn't actually go under the bridge over there, does it? Or does it? Yeah, it does. Usually I take the shortcut, so I wasn't 100% sure, but this will take us around the corner up here and under 13th. Skies are kind of dramatic because of the contrast there. So for about 5 to 6 months of the year, this is what Saskatchewan looks like. All that spring and summer stuff I've been doing is a bit misleading. Because it looks like we'll get November, December, January, February, March, well into April. Yeah, 5 to 6 months, it'll be mostly white. We could get a thaw that'll brown it up. In fact, it could be completely brown again in December if we got a thaw, which sometimes happens because the temperature's up and down this time of year. any time of year. But for the most part, for the next 5 to 6 months, this will be my view. Only more snow. See a bit of a snowdrift is built up there where the wind blew the snow. Here comes a jogger. See, this is why I said the Devonian pathway. That's what this is called. Control speed. It also says, don't worry, I will. The airport's over there, but it's kind of behind that roadway. Morning, Brent. 22 there. Well, how nice for you, Southwest Florida. I could not be happier for you. It's 23 here, Fahrenheit. Yeah, a lot of ice on the creek. But definitely not load bearing. I wouldn't try to walk across the creek today. Unless I was a duck, I might try it. But they want open water, so they wouldn't try it. I do have to watch my feet. There's patches of ice everywhere. And I don't want to take another tumble. This is not Tumblr. I use that joke a lot. It was funnier before I actually fell down 2 days ago. And faceplant, that's my other joke. Faceplant live. See the dome of Mosaic Stadium over there, straight ahead. There is a football game today. The Rough Riders are playing the Edmonton Elks. Still not used to that. They should be the Eskimos, but they changed the name, so they're the Elks now. It'll be a little chilly in the stands today. We're not going. Trying to sell our tickets, but they haven't sold yet. So if you're looking for tickets, there's a couple of really good ones available on the home side. Row 11. 15 and 16, if I remember right. 15 and something. Go buy them. It's probably sheltered reasonably. How cold can it be really sitting out there? We've done it before. Coldest I ever was at a football game was when my brother Dwight was playing in when he was in college. They were in Winnipeg, and somehow we were there to see them. And it was bitterly cold. Just a handful of people in the stands. I remember going back out to the car to try to warm up at one point. Thanks, Brent. Enjoy your 22 degrees Celsius. There's actually a train just parked on the track today in the bridge. You can see the downtown that direction. Potash cars. And Potex. This is where I had a bicycle accident years ago, which kind of put me off riding on this path for a while. Well, forever, because my bike now's been stolen, so I don't even have a bike. Whenever I've tried to have a bike in Regina, it ends up stolen. I don't know if they're empty or full cars. Oof, stepped off the path. I actually like it with a little snow on it. It's a little less slippery. This is the Royal Regina Golf Club over here. Closed for the season, except maybe the clubhouse. We were in the clubhouse for an event just a couple of weeks ago, a dinner, German Wine Society dinner and tasting. They had about half their lounge area set up for golf simulators, and the Wascana Golf Club, where I often go to write, is doing the same thing. So I get that a try this winter. At least you can't lose your ball, unlike playing real golf. Here we are in the historic community of McNabb. Once upon a time, it was its own community. Golf course, snow fence, backyards. I hope this video saves properly. I was very disappointed. Some of my snow videos, all of a sudden, Prism, the app, which actually gets, I'm still putting up a little watermark. I could get rid of that, but I keep forgetting to. In the corner, there's a setting where it's supposed to save it automatically, and it did without trouble. They updated the app, and ever since then, about half the time, it fails to save the high def version. So I turned off the automatic save and see if I do it manually, if that helps, but I just don't know what to do about that. And it's annoying because 720 is fine for streaming and probably helps with the bandwidth, but for the permanent record, I'd like to have higher definition video. The creek is very calm, what with being covered with ice. Again, it's the golf course over there, the other side of the creek. Doesn't look like they've made any effort to clear this down here. It's just got packed down by foot. Thin ice, yeah, at last those signs make sense. They stay up all year, so part of the year, of course it's thin ice because it's running water, but right now it really is thin ice everywhere. Another jogger coming. It always looks dangerous to me on icy paths. More dangerous than walking. On the edge of the path. So far nobody's checked in on YouTube. If you're there, say hi. Had a lot of people walking with me yesterday. And the day before, when I first walked in the snow. The novelty of that will wear off though, because like I said, it's probably going to be more like this than anything else from now on. It's a long train. It still carries on there. Sometimes they'll have 110 cars in one of those unit trains or even more. Unit train because they're all carrying the same thing. Used to load those kind of cars, but not with potash, but with wheat. The summer I worked at the Weyburn Inline Grain Terminal. There's the clubhouse over there. Another footbridge. Hello. It was really cool because you just sat in a chair and you had this spout and a car puller. You just press this lever and this whole line of rail cars would move at the touch of your button. And you'd stick the spout in, open it up, the grain would pour in, the spout would fill up to the top, and then you just ease the car forward and the grain would just flow nicely out of the spout. So you got to the end. at which point you turn off the grain, the spout would empty out in the last part of the car, and Bob's your uncle. Well, at some point somebody had to go and flip the top closed and put on seals. Not whoop, whoop, seals. They were these little aluminum tags. That was fun. That was my favorite part of working there. I hated everything else about it because it was dirty and dusty and manual labor and all the things I went into journalism to avoid. Another nice bridge. I have several nice looking bridges on the golf course because they go back and forth across the creek. Oop. For some reason there's a pile of snow right there. Spark. Uh-oh. Is my mic disconnected? Now, why is that? Is it really disconnected? Did the battery die because of the cold? What's going on here? It's still connected. I got that signal yesterday, and in fact it was still on, so I'm going to hope that's what's going on now. It shows connected. Okay, well if you're there, let me know if you can hear me. If you're not there, don't. It's quite necessary. Shows it's still connected, and I got that same message yesterday and it was still connected, so I'm not doing anything about that. But if you're there, please tell me you can hear me. How long have I been out? 17 minutes, so still just feels longer because it's cold. Only on my face, the rest of it's okay. Well, the hand holding the gimbal's kind of cold. I'll have to think about using mitts for this if I do it in really cold weather because it's your fingers and gloves. Yeah, lots of wind noise. Somebody tells me they can hear me. Yeah, it was very windy back there and in spots. I think the mic is probably where it's sitting, maybe rubbing on it too. Okay, I'll turn it around again. Maybe a little better if part of that was from rubbing against the coat. That might help. I can hear you, says Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. That's two people say they can hear me. So I guess I can be heard. Now, do I try climbing this hill? I don't think so. It's going to be quite slippery and it's quite steep. So I think I will go around it today. The path will have been beaten down and will be quite slick. And while going up is one thing, going down is harder. So I will stay off the hill. All it does is give you a slightly elevated view of the creek there. And yes, there's quite a bit of wind right now going in this direction, so I can't do anything about that. There is a little wind sock thing, which is called, unfortunately, a dead cat, which little fur thing. And this has happened now with 2 different microphones. They provide those, but they're not actually shaped to stay on the shape of the microphone. The microphone is oblong at the top. These things are round and too small. They just don't attach. Unless I could do something with tape or something at some point. Mostly I just don't worry about it. A little bit of wind noise isn't the end of the world. It's not like I'm saying anything important anyway. Football field there, so just over here, you can't see it yet. It's Luther College High School, where my daughter went to high school. Government House is a little further down past that. We're gonna walk along the path to Dudney, and I'm just gonna go by Luther and Government House. And there's a path under the railroad tracks on the Louvain that'll take us back to 13th. That's the depot division over there. That's the training. Every Mountie in Canada trains right over there. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And the RCMP Museum is also over there. National Museum. That's just a park there. We're off the golf course. Baseball diamond over here. At least these microphones have little lights that I can check and see if they're still connected. The one I had before this, which its problem was after I'd had it for about 3 months, it quit charging. The charging mechanism wouldn't work. This is a higher end mic. When I'm using it for live streaming here, I need the wireless thing. Well, I don't really. I could put a long cord on it, have a corded mic. But instead, to get wireless, I actually had to get 2 mics. One acts as a receiver, and the other one I clipped on my lapel. But I really didn't want to have a corded mic. That seemed awkward. Walking just off the path, where the grip is better. The brush is there. I haven't quite had the path for myself, but certainly far fewer people than I would have during the summer this time of day. Good look back at the creek. The sun being dramatic in the clouds. Land of living skies. It's on our license plate. Must be true. Another jogger. There's no question I can't walk as far as fast under winter conditions. Jurassic Park. I'll walk over here on the grass again because we're going downhill, and that always makes the slipperiness seem slipperier. There's a nice bare stretch. Almost tripped a couple of times stepping off the path and stepping back on. Somebody else I know recently stepped off the path and tripped stepping back onto the path. In Newfoundland while we were there. Not saying who, just someone I know. I go this way today. Sometimes I go the other way. Studney up there, Studney Avenue. Where are we at here time-wise? Yeah, I'll just turn the corner and head back along Studney instead of going any further on to the other side, I think. We'll see how the time works out. Might be a little shy of an hour, or I might not, I'm not sure. And of course I could go straight up there to Studney, but I want to at least go over here, back by the creek again. And again, there's the RCMP barracks over there, and the museum is right directly ahead of us through the trees. Something has changed here. I remember there being a significant building or shelter different from that here. Am I imagining that? Or did they tear something down? Replace it? Huh. It seems different. I'll have to look back at one of my old videos and see if I'm imagining things. Okay, so we'll go up here. Oh, here's the one I was thinking of. I just hadn't reached it yet. Right in front of me, but I could not see it. I don't know what all this stuff on it is. That's why I came to take a look. The Great Trail in Saskatchewan. This marks the connection of Saskatchewan section of the Great Trail of Canada in honor of Canada's 150th anniversary of Confederation in 2017. Where you are standing, you can embark upon one of the most magnificent and diverse journeys in the world. Whether heading west, east, north, or south, the Great Trail, created by Trans-Canada Trail and its partners, offers all the natural beauty, rich history, and enduring spirit of our land and its peoples. Huh. Okay, well, I'd have to walk quite a ways to get to some of that. I could probably manage that, but once the mountains start appearing, I would be running really late on getting home, so... Oh, so that's what this thing is. I never bothered to walk up here before, I just walked by down there and said, oh, look at that. Now somewhere here, I will, when we get closer to the Studney carries on to the underpass road. There's the RCMP Museum. And again, that's the training grounds for Royal Canadian Mounted Police over there. Every Mountie trains. The bridge, and it carries on a long way that way. Well, apparently, as far as you want to go, since it's part of the Great Trail. But we will go here and start back along Dudney, which will be very long, very straight, not nearly as interesting, so I will try to diverge as possible. Dudney takes you straight down to the warehouse district, where I've walked many times. Takes us along Government House. Takes you to the rail yards. It doesn't quite go straight through town though. Just past Broad, it curves because the railroad curves. And it doesn't cross it, it just curves. And I guess it quits being Dudney at that point. And then it gets picked up again further out. There's a discontinuity there. Someone has run something along the street here, the sidewalk, but it's still pretty icy. So there's where I could have come out if I'd come this way, without going down to see the little grab trail shelter there. Actually, I walked just off the sidewalk again. It's actually less slippery. Condo building, relatively new. $5525 Dudney Avenue, if you're following along at home. Oh, there's somebody else said hello. Let me see who's that. I can find a dark enough spot. What content do I write? I write everything. More than 60 books of science fiction, fantasy, and nonfiction for readers of all ages. Nonfiction is largely, but not entirely, well, I don't know, largely. I've done just about everything. Local history, science books, not autobiographies, biographies. My main science fiction publisher is Daw Books in New York, one of the world's, actually the first publisher devoted entirely to science fiction. But I've written for many other smaller publishers, and I have my own publishing company, Shadowpaw Press, which I've largely devoted to bringing back in print stuff of mine that's gone out of print, but I do have a couple of anthologies, and my grandfather-in-law's first war memoirs I published. I'm going to publish a book by someone else soon, and so yeah. And then I've written all sorts of shorter stuff. My mouth is cold. Magazine articles, newspaper columns. If you need something written, I write. Good morning, Madeline, Victoria. This is not Victoria, you can probably tell. There's the baseball diamond I walked on the other side of. If you go to my website, edwardwillett.com, EDWARDWILLETT, 2 T's, very important, you can find out about everything I write, and a bunch of other stuff too. Very long, straight, rather dull road, but I'll spice it up a little bit here when we get up to Luther. And this is one of the larger diamonds for baseball in town, one of the more well equipped, I guess. No, I have never visited India. Closest I've come, I was in, what would have been the closest on that trip? I guess Greece, probably, which is not exactly close. Lots of people from India, or who have visited India, but I am not among them. So once I get up here, I'll go over and walk up closer to Luther College High School over here to vary this rather boring stretch. I mean, there's a road in the middle, and there's been mostly fields over here, baseball field, football field. I might have been closer to India actually when we were in part of Eastern Europe. I'd have to look at a map to see how it lined up with Greece, but anyway, it would have been further north too, so. But like I said, that's not really close at all, so. Nowhere close. Close to Africa, relatively speaking, but a long, long way from India. So this is Luther College High School. Went to high school, and it has a nice, well-cleared sidewalk. I appreciate that right about now. You can see the old part peeking up there, and there was this new addition which was built kind of just before our daughter started here, so that was nice. And this, the simple gymnasium here, is the largest high school gymnasium in the province. Very nice. Luther holds something called the LIT, Luther Invitational Tournament, which is a major basketball tournament that attracts big schools from across Western Canada. Luther is a small school, so it doesn't win its own tournament, but it hosts it. And, well, thank you. I strive to be impressive in everything I do. Although I'm taking guitar lessons right now, and I'm certainly not impressive at guitar playing at the moment. Maybe I'll get there, but... we'll go this way. Just to stay closer to the brick wall for more interest. So this is the old gym, which is now the auditorium. There's a very nice stage, and they do a musical every year. Of course, many other things in there. It's also a really old chapel. It's a Lutheran school. So they have daily chapel. Across the street is the president's house for Luther College. Luther College is also, there's also a Luther College at the University of Regina. It's one of the colleges there. We come around the corner and we'll see the doors of the auditorium. Then here's the old part of the school, which is well over 100 years old. And over there is a dorm, because they do have boarding for the students from around the world. And I presume some from in Canada, but mostly they're from other parts. It's a very good high school. I recommend it. Not that I went there, but my daughter did. And we were glad that she did. All right. Little gardens looking a little very gardening. Now we'll go over to Government House. Is the next interesting thing along here. Team's practice field over here. Luther College and Martin Collegiate in Regina, because they had very small numbers of players for their football teams, have created a joint team. So Martin Collegiate, Luther College, they are of course called the Martin Luther Kings, which amused me no end when I read it. President's house. In it. My wife has. But I haven't. How long have I gone here? 42 minutes. Yeah, this will be a good hour until we make it back to the car, which is still getting closer, but some distance away. Then there's the Lutheran Church here. Been in it many times when I sang with Prairie Chamber Choir. This is where we didn't rehearse here, we rehearsed in Luther College, but we did concerts and recordings here. And this is also where the choirs from Luther do their concerts, so I came and watched my daughter here many times. And I know the pastor here, Pastor Hendrickson. This is Christ Lutheran Church. And his son Josh is currently accompanist for our upcoming show with Regina Lyric Singers, Regina Lyric Musical Theater, Lyric Singers. Guilty Pleasures, which is coming up at the end of the month. You can get tickets at reginalyric.com. And I wish you would. I can go through here and walk through the snow, but there's not much to see in the garden. Still, it's more interesting than staying on Dudney, so we'll take a little walk through the snow to get over to the Government House. As I said, not very gardeny at the moment. The Edwardian Gardens, so they're designed as gardens were designed in the Edwardian period, which is when Government House Museum has been restored to that period to show what the house looked like then when the Lieutenant Governor still lived here. And in the Edwardian Gardens there were distinct rooms, so different flowers and things in different rooms of the garden. For example, this is kind of the War Memorial Garden here. Now it's just white. snowshoe hare. First one of the day. His coloring is starting to match the landscape. Here's Government House up here. Back of it. There was a time when all of Western Canada and what is now Northwest Territories and Yukon, it was all Northwest Territories, and it was all governed by the Lieutenant Governor from this building. Well, and from the earlier version of it, but from this building. And the house has been other things. There was a period of time when it was like a convalescent center or something like that, and it was just kind of not kept to its historic appearance at all. It's the government of the day, being socialist, didn't hold with kind of this highfalutin history stuff. But fortunately, it was restored, and I wrote the history book, or rewrote the history book. Oh, that one still has trees on it. The Lieutenant Governor's offices then are right in here. It says right there, Lieutenant Governor's office. When you come around the front, you see the porte cochere. They don't actually use this entrance, but that would have been the main entrance once. It might be used when the Lieutenant Governor, I think it's probably used when the Lieutenant Governor takes the ride to Legislative Building. See, it says VR up there, Victoria Regina. This is the new wing, which was built in 2005, dedicated by Queen Elizabeth on her visit that year. And this is where I got my Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers a few weeks ago, for the volunteer work I've done with Regina Musical Theatre over the years. That was very nice ceremony, very nice medal. Haven't had occasion to wear it. I guess I will. It's probably my American roots saying you shouldn't wear something like that. But my wife will ensure I wear it if nobody else does. This is a seniors center here. Oh, what's that? RB. Well, I kind of like parts of winter for these walks, having fallen 2 days ago on the ice. I could do with all the snow everywhere except on the walkways, sidewalks, and roads. That's really hard to arrange. For some reason, they let it fall wherever it wants to. Doesn't seem right. Couldn't they do something about that? Maybe I'll go up here and walk closer to the building. There's a bit of a sidewalk here. Clearer. I'm actually getting reasonably close to the car, even though it doesn't look like it. I have to get under the Louvain Bridge, but then I'll be right on 13th. Pioneer Village. Main entrance. Oh, I thought that was another snowshoe hare, but it's just a plastic bag. A wild one though. It's a wild plastic bag, not a tame one. And as you see, there's way more rooms to this place back here than you see from the front. I actually tore down one small section out front to increase the where the big new parking lot for government houses. Let's walk over here. Go between these buildings, and this road one over is where I actually need to be to find my path. As I was saying, just a little slip, but it's enough to get your attention. Now we're looking directly across at, well, that's a hotel, it's a Marriott, I think. But then directly across is Pasqua. Hospital. That's what I was looking for. Just a little slippery.
Yeah.
Used to be Grey Nuns once upon a time, the old part of that hospital. Tiny village, Hewitt Place, some sort of lodge. Much more lodge. I think I'll get on the road because, not that it's much better. Now it looks worse than the sidewalk now that I decided to come over here. Let's go back to the sidewalk again. Little tiny steps. Yeah, this part of the sidewalk's actually better. See the train moving up there. I'll go under that, and then another block or two, and I'll be at the car. This will be over an hour, I think. I am slower for sure in this kind of weather. I'm sure that walk wouldn't have taken me an hour on dry pavement, because I've done something pretty much like it before and it didn't take that long. I still got to go a couple of blocks this way. Okay, I am going to get on the road now. There's very little traffic. I can see it coming and I can lengthen my stride. Got a new ones here. One on the corner there, the little one, is for sale if you're looking. I'd say the fellow up there is heading to the same path I'm heading to. New one being built here. Somewhere up here, the path goes to the left. Now I'm going into the snow. It's not very deep, and the traction is 100% better. Little ones here. On the theory that this guy knew where he was going. Oh, he's crossing over there. I'm not crossing. I'll stay over here. I was trying to remember where I picked up that path. It's probably down there. Or I can go up further, I think is where I actually got onto it last time. Still more interesting up here than walking along the Louvain. Quieter too. And getting slippery again, so let's go back into the snow. Could walk up on the little ridge up here, I guess. Oh, there's a path there too, which will probably take me where I want to go. Yeah, that's better. Doesn't look like it, but I'm about 3 blocks from the, maybe 4 blocks from the car as well. Oh, who's that? Margin, hello. This is what all my walks are likely to look like now for about 5 months. I may miss more in the winter than I have during the better weather. There are certain days when I won't try. Or at least not long ones. I could always do a walk around the block or something. Even at 40 below, I could do that. But I wouldn't walk around the lake if the wind was blowing at that kind of temperature. Here's the path. I knew it was here. This will take us under the railway bridge. There were trains going over it a minute ago, but nothing at the moment. Some sort of power station here. Don't know exactly what it does. This has fortunately been clean because it's enough of a downhill slope. It would be unpleasant if it was really slippery. It'd be on the snow again. Under the railway bridge. Where am I right now? This is the Louvain Expressway over here. It's a faster north-south route through town, faster than Albert Street. And this is the main CP line I'm going under right at this moment. So I'm just east. Basically, I started where I left off on Monday's Creek Walk and just carried on along the path for a ways, and then I made my way back house. And now I'm almost back to the car. It's just a couple of blocks up here now. I parked it at the Italian Club, or almost at the Italian Club. So there's the Louvain. And our resident Stegosaurus over there in the traffic island. So I was over there, I just made a big loop around. Let's see what their sidewalk looks like. Oof, ow. That was just frozen lumps of snow that turned into ice. It's not bad on this sidewalk. So we're coming up to 13th up here. Well, it definitely went over an hour. I wouldn't have on dry pavement, so to keep that in mind as I plan walks remembering that I'm losing probably 10 minutes when there's snow and ice from my usual pace. There's a lot for sale if you'd like to build something. There it is. And hopefully there'll be some coffee when I get home. So I'm ready for some more coffee after this. Almost lunchtime now. I think I get more exercise on these kind of roads. There's more catching yourself and being cautious, and you walk slower, but it's harder work. Here's 13th. 13th and Louvain there. That intersection. The car is just a couple of blocks this way now. Basically just keeps going out into the countryside, if I remember right. This is when you have to be the most careful. It's like most accidents happen within a few blocks of home. I think most falls do too. You think you're done, you think you're home safe, and you let up your guard, and next thing you know you're down. That's what happened to me 2 days ago. Not really. I turned my head to look at a barking dog at just the wrong moment. Didn't watch my foot where I was putting it down, and down I went. I hope this one will save in high definition when I finish. I'll try. Hopefully it works. Otherwise it'll be stuck at 720, which is what this is during the live stream. I can actually walk along here because this is now a bike path. Which is good because there's no sidewalk here that's been cleared, if there even is one. Just over an hour, because I'll just turn the corner and the car will be down at the end of this next stretch. And since there's nothing to see down there, I'll stop here with a view of the Italian Club. So, thanks for walking with me today. There's the Italian Club, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye for now.